Oh my God, that's such a deep cut, dude.
Dude, you are speaking my fucking language right now.
Come close, baby girl.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Obviously, you have
Yeah,
to know.
I'm gonna talented Mr. Ripley you.
I'll play the video for you now.
I'm a jader. Let's go.
Listen, I have no pride. I will fucking say it on record.
And normally when people take their phone out to film you, you're either committing a crime or getting your ass beat.
Welcome to UNSHUT, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't.
How you doing, brother? Good to see you again.
Dude, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good, they're doing construction next door, so hopefully the mic doesn't pick up the little hammers and stuff, but I think the mic should be good enough.
I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it'll clear it out. I think mics are like super good about that shit now, but I promise I'm not going to take up too much of your time today.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm glad we got a chance to talk.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for coming on. And totally random. This is kind of how I'm going to get things started real quick. I'm just truly curious because I didn't get to ask you this the last time we chatted. Do you by
Yeah.
any chance know an
From Wildin' Out?
yeah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
very cool.
I mean, I don't know if we worked together on the show, but outside of that, you know.
Very cool. I was curious to ask you this because I always have the craziest coincidences on the show, but it's something I really pride myself on because I'm like, fuck, like I really do have so many connections everywhere. But dude, I am trying so hard to use no fucking connections to get to people. So when I find little connections here and there, I pretty much geek out because I'm like, fuck yeah, I didn't have to ask anyone, you know?
I truly respect that. I have a lot of famous friends at this point. I've had my friends and family members like, why don't you leverage those relationships and like ask them? And I'm like, if they really believe in me and my talent and they want to work with me, they'll reach out or they'll throw me an opportunity. But outside of that, it's okay. And it's fine.
Dude, thanks so much for acknowledging that because that's literally what my mentality is too. I'm like, I'm looking for longevity here. I'm like, I'm not looking for those quick little fixes, especially being I'm 35. So I think that life has pretty much taught me that the solid foundation, the concrete work that you put in is so important rather than
Yeah.
going viral in a day and then it's like you have no solid foundation. You know what I mean? So.
100%. Yeah, I feel like, and then in the long run, it pays back dividends, 1,000 times over. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, 1000%. And
Yeah.
you're less than a week away from kicking this tour off, right?
Well, no, I suppose so because officially, yes. I mean, we added a third show in Vegas that I did last weekend. So, but I suppose that doesn't count. So, yeah, New York is next week, Tuesday. It's essentially will be the first city of the tour.
Well, I was
Yeah.
definitely bummed out to hear that Austin, Texas was sold out.
So technically it is sold out. However, the reason it's sold out now is because they have to allot a certain amount of seats for festival pass holders. So there's probably like maybe 50 seats that are like if somebody were to get like a pass to the festival, then they can maybe squeeze in. But then I don't even know if there's going to be a line for those people. You know what I mean? We'll see. I mean, they asked me to do a second show, but we're just kind of trying to set something else up, like a different type of event there as well. So we'll see how it goes.
No, for sure. I mean, you've got a lot of sold out shows right now, though. Like, I mean, I think that, for you, I know you had openly talked about how you were going through the emotions after going through the pre-sale and seeing how, I think you talked about on a show how you were like going out for a jog and you got a little bit emotional about it.
I
But it's
did,
so
yeah.
cool to see that, like, dude, so much is selling out, but the country, some of these countries that you're going to, they're insane. Is there one in particular that you are feeling a little bit more of the pressure
A
than
hundred
all the other
percent. That's
ones?
that's going to be Brazil and South America in general. I think just because the expectation there, I'm not quite sure exactly what it's going to be. A lot of my Brazilian fans know that I'm Brazilian. They know that I speak Portuguese. I speak it semi-fluently, almost fluently. However, speaking the language and communicating comedy in that language is two different skills. And so, I have till August to really decide whether, how do I want to translate some songs? Do I want to write some new jokes in Portuguese? Because, the theaters are 1,500 seats and it's like I don't know what they're going to expect. They don't understand necessarily what I'm saying. So I don't know. It could be a huge disaster, but I think in the end of the day, the mega fans out there, they love music and they love to sing along. And I think for them, they're just excited somebody from America is paying attention to the country and even taking time to go there, you know? Because I think as far as comedians go, I'm the first one to ever go to Brazil and do a multi-city tour there. First American comedian. So that's the one I feel the most pressure about. Europe, not so much. I've been to Europe before, so I'm actually really excited to go there. I mean, I'm a little bit nervous about Portugal because the venue. I'm doing 3 shows there. The venue in Portugal, the third show, it isn't the biggest one I'm doing across that continent, but it is like the most, I don't know how to really say it. It feels like this mega church energy cathedral, and I don't know how conducive it's going to be to stand-up comedy. But we'll see. We'll
Well, I
see.
mean, hearing you talk about like, how scary it could be though, do you find somewhat peace? And I know that's kind of a tricky question because everything you do is going to be like anxiety driven, right? You have to make sure that you're on your toes. You have to make sure you put on a good show, but at the end of the day, do you feel like there's some sort of peace that you're able to find knowing that yes, you are going to a place like Brazil, but no one is absolutely doing what you're doing? Like, and I think that's like the hardest thing to grasp for an artist when you realize out of the millions of people, dude, you're the only one doing a show the way you're doing it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And there is some peace of mind there in the fact that if something goes wrong or doesn't work, the fact is we're on new ground right now. So I mean it'd be really presumptuous and arrogant to think that everything I do is gonna be a home run, especially when like I'm not walking the path anymore. I'm creating it, you know? And so there's gonna be bumps. I'm gonna trip and I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna learn and hopefully I'll make it easier for anybody who walks the path behind me a little bit and eventually forges their own. A quote that I saw that I really, really loved. It's like, you will know that you were on the right path when the path disappears, if that makes sense.
Dude, that
You know what I
makes
mean?
so much sense. Absolutely. And I love hearing you say this because I think that there are so many people out there who are never going to experience what it's like to do that because it's a very small percentage of people that actually do go out and bet on themselves. So I think it's fucking dope. You
Yeah.
talked about the importance of being your own fan. Do you remember the first time you became a fan of you?
Yeah, I think it was a couple years into doing my music comedy. Definitely, I was doing my stand up, but I objectively like my stand up was going okay, and I was like, oh, like the people were laughing. It was, it was getting laughs, but it wasn't until I was, several years into doing the music comedy where I was like, oh, this is actually pretty entertaining. I enjoy this, and also the shift in the energy of the crowd changed as well because about 2 to 3 years into doing the music comedy, people started taking their phones out and filming. And, I didn't ask them to do that. And normally when people take their phone out to film you, you're either committing a crime or getting your ass beat, or you're doing something like really cool. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, so something is different. This is going well. And I just kind of kept evolving and changing, what it is.
Well, I've got one more question for you before we jump into my first segment because I am truly curious to see how you're going to wear both hats on my show today in regards to obviously being you and just talking about your past a little bit. But something I do take a lot of pride in is that if people really do want to, get to know where you started and, NYU, for example, things of that nature, those are things you've already talked about. And I try to shy away from those
Of
things.
course.
So I always encourage my listeners to go and deep dive the artist I have, but this is just a different angle. But before we do that, you felt like a business when you started to look for your first intern. And I was so curious to ask you that it's obvious interns learn a lot during the process of working with someone like you, but what did you learn about this that you still apply today when you work with other people?
Hiring the intern was a leap of faith and trust. I'm somebody who has a hard time delegating tasks and trusting people to get the work done. It's hard for people to believe in the same dream that you have and to get behind you. And I mean, have you ever sat with somebody and they're telling you about a dream they had last night and you're
All
just
the
like, oh my
time.
God, what are they talking about? So imagine like you are trying to pursue a dream in real life and you're telling them about that and people are like, "Oh my God, get a real job. Oh my God, what is the future in this?" So it's hard, it's just like it's scary to do that. But I always operate under this kind of philosophy, I give everything 2 months to, or not even 2 months, give everything like a time period to try it out. And at the end of the day, if the strategy doesn't work, you can just restart or try a different strategy. I mean, I really try to treat myself as like a Fortune 500 company, like with a mission statement, a goal in mind and things like that, because if you do that way, right, like you'll always be able to be creative, right? But I am working in show business, you know, it's not called like show art. It's like show business. And so you have to really treat it like that. And so finding people you can trust and people who believe in your brand. I mean, that's what I learned. It's like I found a younger intern, you know, Topher, he's 20. Well, he works full time for me now, but he's like 24 now. When I hired him, he was like 21 or 22. I'm going to be 38 on Sunday, believe it or not. And he's giving me so many insights as to like what his generation prefers and what they like. And it keeps me in touch with like a new fan base, you know. Things are changing and it's we have to accept that the way people consume content and art and media. And so hiring people that are, you know, willing to also learn, like, because I'm learning all the time. So I can't bring somebody on who's not willing to be flexible. And I mean, I worked at the Apple store for 6 years and they had this thing called dealing with ambiguity. And I mean, it's true. It's like you need to deal with ambiguity because some strategies work in some parts of the business and some others don't. And you have to like recognize that. And you also have to recognize that maybe you're not the smartest person in the room for certain topics. I mean, you know, you have to humble yourself also, like with these being the boss now. I'm like, I have two employees and I think it's going to expand. And as I hire contractors and things like that, and sometimes you're not the smartest person in the room and you have to trust other people who do other things better than you. I have a lot of experience doing things. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I answered the question, but there's a level of you have to humble yourself and there's also a level of trust. And those are two things you know, if somebody doesn't have humility, it's probably going to be hard for them to run a successful business, you know, for decades and decades.
1000%. And you answered it so perfectly because that's definitely something I like to dabble in. Certain episodes, I don't overly talk about it, but I do think that I've noticed a trend in successful people is that the irony of letting go of certain controls when you're able to, like you said, humble yourself down and realize that you're not the best at everything is when you actually have the most control of what it is you're doing. So letting go of control is a good way to be in control. So you definitely said it. Keep expanding. You're still learning. I love that. Since we're talking about the past, going back to how, you know, you got this intern and all that good stuff, I want to segue into our first segment. And now we're going to kind of talk about the past a little bit, but also bring it into the present. And in honor of the voice memos with lyrics you get from your mom,
I had a dream to create a link to bring you
Oh,
in.
that's
we're going to give your mom full creative direction here for a second, and I want you to answer the way you think mom would best want to answer these questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, so the first one I have for you, the first scenario, I guess, is mom is picking your new stage name. What is she calling you?
That's a good question. Um, I don't know. I mean, my dad had a stage name. His stage name was Ricardo Roda. Bravo, Ricardo. Bravo, Ricardo. What would she call me? Uncle Morgan, maybe, right?
Uncle Morgan?
Because I'm Uncle Morgan now to all the kids, you know. And she doesn't call me Morgan anymore. She, you know, because the kids will be around. She'll be like, "Go talk to Uncle Morgan. Go talk to Uncle Morgan." All right. Yeah.
Your screen's cutting out. By the way, it
Is
keeps
it?
like, it does. It keeps like going like, it keeps blurring you out and coming back, blurring you and coming back in. Just a heads up.
Oh, it could be like maybe a connectivity thing, you know. I don't, but the audio's okay.
Oh yeah, the audio's fine.
It's
Just wanted to
still.
give you a heads up in case when you see this after it airs and you're like, what the fuck? Why didn't he say anything?
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Okay, yeah, I would think Uncle Morgan.
All right, we'll go with Uncle Morgan for the stage name. If mom is picking between the auto-tuned mic and guitar, which one is she picking? She has got creative control and she's telling you, listen, babes, you cannot take both of them. You can only pick one. Which one is mom picking?
Oh, she's gonna 100% pick the guitar every time.
Amazing. If mom is picking a song for you to cover that's going to go on your Spotify channel, again, she's got creative control. What is she asking you to cover?
It's gonna be a song with the word love in it, and it might be by the Beatles or maybe a Brazilian song, I'd imagine. But yeah, a safe bet would be a song with love in it by the Beatles, and they have so many of those, so I don't know exactly which one it would be, you know?
Amazing. The last one I have for you, Morgan, is if mom is picking one naughty word in your vocabulary you are not allowed to use ever again, which one is it?
Pussy? And I don't even
Perfect.
say it often, but probably that one.
Amazing. Will your mom be making it to any of the shows?
She's gonna be at the Friday show, yeah, in New York. I'm very excited. I hope I don't get like emotional or something. I'm gonna call her out and say thank you in front of all these people. So I'm getting her like a nice car service and we're gonna drive her in, and so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping she can make it.
Without her, I wouldn't be able to do this show, and she holds it down for the whole family. So I want you to welcome my mother, Sylvia, to the stage. Come on to the stage. This is my mom over here. This is Mama J, Sylvia. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. One more time for my mom. And she's like, she dressed like a CEO tonight. Like a boss. You looking good. I love you so much, Mom. Please enjoy the show. Give it to her one more time.
No, super sweet. I love that. I always love to hear the support. And when I saw that clip of you talking about those memos, I'm like, I've got to put that on my show, but give it my spin to it because I thought it was the fucking sweetest thing in the world. So I
Yeah,
loved it.
I have to write these songs before I just got to get them done. I don't know when I'm wasting time.
You'll know when the time is right for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely also, in regards to applying this with the show and your personal show, we couldn't talk about your mom without talking about your dad. I know that you've openly talked about his passing when you were 6. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you were talking about how he was this Argentinian pop star, and you talked about his stage name just now, but I didn't do a deep dive on that. What did he do? Because that's something I definitely did not deep dive into, if you don't mind.
Yeah, he was a recording artist in Argentina, probably between the ages of like 20 and 35, and he was doing a lot of that. He was doing a lot of covers. He was doing a lot of like that surf rock that you would see in America. And he was in movies and TV shows, and he traveled all over South America and Europe. And he's definitely sang with some legend. Excuse me. Now that time I burped. Some legend, and I can tell you what it smelled like. Nothing, because I haven't eaten yet. But yeah, he performed with a lot of legendary people. I think I have a photo with him with Ella Fitzgerald. I have a photo with him with Anthony Quinn. And then when he moved to America, obviously he left that part of his life and career behind him, and he became a chef in America, and he became known as the singing chef, where he would like cook a meal for you and then he would come out and then sing to you.
Dude, I almost feel like, I don't know if this has ever really crossed your mind, but I feel like that's such a beautiful connection I didn't make before. Like, you've got your dad who mixed two things that normally people would be like, that makes no sense, a singing chef. And then here you are, you're like a comedy musician, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Has that ever crossed your mind?
Actually, it hasn't. Truly, it really hasn't. I mean, he was mixing stuff up. I guess because I see it as I'm an entertainer and he's like, I wouldn't say I'm mixing things up because it's all entertainment, but because he's doing like two different mediums altogether. One is food and one is like music. So I guess that's why it never crossed my mind. But in a way, I mean, he's combining genres and senses and stuff like that.
No, that's so awesome. And
I do often say that like I didn't get to know him, but given my lifestyle now, I am getting to know him, right? Because he traveled a lot, he toured a lot. He probably dealt with some creative issues and business things, and I'm sure things he probably could have talked me through that I'm kind of learning on my own.
it's so funny you say that because that connection is literally what I had put in my notes about
Yeah.
how it's so funny how sometimes we do have a way of honoring the people we love we didn't really get to know, and just by really just being yourself. And I think that's why I had to bring that up, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I was fascinated by that. Just to kind of tie that in with your show, obviously I have to talk about your stand-up. I have to talk about your videos a little bit. But again, giving it a little bit of a different twist real quick, in honor of Would You Be My Dad? If Morgan was in search of a mom, what would you replace the tie with? Do you know what I'm talking about? Obviously, you have
Yeah.
to know.
Would you be my dad? Now don't be shy. Would you be my dad? And help me with this tie. Can you tie that? You're not my dad.
maybe how to put a corset in a cravat. Or no, it would be like when you go to prom and they have to put the what is that? There's a corsage, right? You put the thing on the person's wrist, but there's like a pin that you put on the thing, So I would take it out of the plastic and have them do it, you know?
Very cool. I don't know the name of it, but I know exactly what you're
Or
talking
or I'd
about.
or I'd get a little boo-boo and I'd have them put a little band-aid on the boo-boo.
Amazing. Has anyone
Yeah.
asked you that before by any chance?
No, no, yeah, I will say you're doing a fantastic job. You're asking some really, I mean, you weren't lying, dude. You're asking some really wonderful questions, and it is refreshing. It
Dude, I
really is.
appreciate that
And I
so
appreciate
much.
you.
No,
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much coming from you, and we're just getting started,
I mean, I
Morgan.
do a lot of different interviews, so I really do appreciate that. Yeah.
Dude, and I'm not gonna lie, my hands have been soaked this entire time because listen, I have no pride. I will fucking say it on record. I think I'm the smallest show you've ever done. Like, I've seen some of the other podcasts you've done, and I'm like, God damn it, I can't compete with those fuckers.
No, I mean, I never really look at the size of the show. I think, I mean, you could cut this out if you want to, but I thought the pitch was really great, and I thought if I had time to do it. I had time to do it. I'm always somebody who's like believes in being in as many places as you can because you don't know when you're gonna pick up a new fan. I don't know how many. You may have 1,000 listeners, 500 listeners. I don't know, but maybe 10 of them are gonna find out about me, and then those 10. It's like you plant a seed in every possible corner of the earth of digital and also digital media because all those seeds eventually they grow up, which is why like there's a reason why I can sell several thousand tickets in South America and 10 to 30,000 tickets in Europe overnight, and and some other artists can't do that, or like there's a reason why all that happens because I do insert myself in all corners of the internet. And so everybody will find me. And the goal is once they come to the live show, they realize, oh, this is even more than I expected, you know?
I couldn't have said it any better because I definitely feel like that's exactly in the point where I am in all of this. I've been pursued by networks that have tried to like fuck me over. And it's definitely like my analytics page is through the roof. Like I just got a new country literally last night. I'm now streaming in France.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that to get an X amount of countries for a show, like you have to listen to me for over 40 minutes versus a song. You can get 125 countries very quickly because you can win them over in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for saying
Of
that.
course.
In an interview, you said Matt Rife was up here and Morgan J was down here. And since I 1000% disagreed with that, this is going to be called Matt Who? Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to name some famous Matts, and if you know who it is, just say yes. And if you don't know, then you'll say Matt Who. Only rule is if that at any point I say Matt Rife, you have to say Matt Who. Are you ready?
Sure. Okay.
I knew I was going to catch you off guard with this one. Matt Bainton,
Matt who?
Matt Bomer.
And do I know who that is?
If you do, just say yes. If you don't, then you'll say Matt
Yes.
Who. Perfect. Hell yeah. How could you not? He's a fucking zaddy. Matt Dillon,
Yes.
Matt Berry.
Matt who?
This was a Matt Who for me too, and I did some research, and he's like an actor comedian, but I'd never heard of him before.
I almost guarantee if I saw these faces, like you'd be like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy.
No, 1000%. Matt Damon.
Oh yeah.
Last one I have for you is Matt Rife.
Matt who? You're literally gonna get a soundbite and I'm gonna be like, who the fuck is yeah. It's fine, it's fine.
That's
It's fine.
amazing. Well, before we talk music real quick, I do want to talk merch real quick. And I've taken some merch items from your website and we're going to play around with them a little bit. And this is how we're going to shout them out on my show.
I will say this before, and this is fine. We are in the process of overhauling the whole merch e-commerce thing. I'm actually wearing this is like the first real merch drop of the year that I've ever done. We're taking a lot of those designs off my website, but we can go through it. I'm saying when this airs, it may not be there and it may be totally different. So we'll, just letting you know.
Well, definitely shout out the new merch real quick, just in case they are not there when this does air. But go for it. I'll
Yeah.
give you the floor real quick.
We got the new Goofy Gang merch. And the thing I love about the merch is it happens so organically. I had a fan let me show you. A fan came to my Atlanta show and they gave me a sweater with this design on it.
So sick. So sick.
Now, I didn't ask them to do this. They gave it to me and I absolutely loved it. And I said, listen, I want to get in touch with the artist. Can we get this art? Because I think this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. And the Goofy Gang, people asking me, are you goofy? Are you a goofy guy? It happens so organically through just me fucking around on stage that now people are part of the goofy gang. They're like, I'm a goofy girl, I'm a goofy guy, I'm a goofy person, I'm a goofy them, like I want to, I want to be part of the goofy gang. And so, I had a friend who designed a couple pieces and I'm just excited about it because I love wearing this. And I wouldn't, like I said, I am my first fan. I would never ask my audience to buy merchandise for me if I wasn't willing to buy it myself. So
Hell yeah.
I have no issues promoting the fuck out of it. We are going to do a drop of 1,000 hoodies and 1,000 sweaters. And, I have 100,000 people on my mailing list. And then I have over, 8 million followers across my platform. So I feel like we're going to sell out immediately and we'll just have to keep replenishing it. And I really want to build this into like a legitimate, like supreme type brand. I want this to be something you would wear even if you weren't a fan of my comedy, I want people to walk around with it and be like, what is that? That's cool. What is this about? Like my name isn't on it, right? There's like an image of me, but it's like a character, right? So I want it to have this kind of standalone type of energy. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Dude, hell yeah.
dropping soon. I believe it's going to be shop.morganj.com. And I cannot wait to drop the merch and indoctrinate more people into the Goofy Gang and have them rep the colors and the imagery.
Hell yeah. Well, we're still going to rock with these merch items, but I'm amazed because we are going to honor Goofy Gang in an unshut way, but we're going to save that for later.
Okay.
But the first one I have for you that's on your website now, it's Jaybird. What does a Jaybird sound like without overthinking it? Three, two, one, go.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm a jaybird. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing. The next one I have for you is Muscle Morgan. Give the camera the best face flex you got. Hell yeah. Amazing. Okay, let me wipe my face real quick. We could practice kissing. Quick, give me the best pickup line to convince me to practice kissing with you via Zoom. Go.
Hey, I have a secret that my mouth needs to tell your mouth. So come in close. Come in close, baby girl. My mouth gotta tell your mouth this. Hold up.
Come close, baby girl. My mouth has got a secret, and I want to tell that secret to your mouth. You feel me?
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. The last one I have for you, and now I'm fucking sweating because I'm laughing so hard. Suspicious as fuck. Was doing this podcast today suspicious as fuck in any way?
No, not at all. Not at all. There was nothing suspicious about it.
Amazing. Well, obviously, we now have to talk about music real quick, and thank you so much for going along with it. But
Yeah.
the first song I want to bring up real quick, I'm only going to bring up a couple, and then we'll get to talking a little bit, to close out the episode. But the first one I have is ASL. If this episode was a chat room, what would you call it?
Wait, what, say it again. I don't know if I understood. SAASL? What does that mean?
For like a song?
Oh, if this was a chat room?
Well, you know how in your song ASL, do you know
Oh,
what I'm
age,
talking
sex,
about?
oh my God, that's such a deep cut, dude. I literally wrote that and never performed it live. Age, sex, location. Oh, if this was a chat room. Okay.
Dude, I almost flipped my shit because I was like, did I look up the wrong fucking
No,
Morgan
no,
J on Spotify?
it's not that. It's just I forget. Like you write songs and you just kind of put them. You put some things you just put out and you let it go in the ether and you let the baby live its life. You don't know what happens to it. Age, sex, location. What would our chat room be? Hooded heroes, dude. Hooded heroes. We have our little hoodies and we got our headphones. Hooded heroes with headphones on. I don't know. HHH.
Hell yeah, I'm here for
Triple
it.
H. WWF.
H.
Triple H. Wait. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, sorry. I have a little sound.
Perfect.
I have a little soundboard over here.
Mine was super corny, and I came up with "You might be gay."
Mm. Oh, and I did realize why I see you're saying the focus goes in and out. I have like a prime lens on here and and it has autofocus on. So like if I put a finger in and if I move a certain, like it will change focus. That's what was going on. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, you're totally good, dude. The last one I have for you is non-negotiables, and this one has nothing to do with the song, just me honoring the song title. What's a non-negotiable for you on this tour?
A non-negotiable on this tour is shitty hotels. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And you only live once, and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to tour for. And so I'm making a decent amount of money, and I'm like, you know what? Let me treat myself to the nicer hotel, man. I mean, in the end of the day, it's a business expense. It's a higher business expense, but I may never get to do this again. I literally just booked a really nice hotel in Greece. I'm doing 2 shows in Athens, and on the whole tour of all the cities worldwide so far, it's the only presidential suite I've ever booked. The room has its own private little pool, and and it has a view of the Acropolis and everything. And I was like, you know what? I am gonna pay this. I am gonna pay it. I earned it. It's gonna be the end of a long ass ride. I earned the shit, you know?
Well, I have a feeling that's just going to be the first of many. I can literally see you rolling in the fucking dough. Like,
But
literally,
you
it's going
know,
to happen.
and the thing is, I don't really like live lavishly like that, you know? I think the one luxury, there's a couple of luxuries now that I partake in that honestly, because time is honestly the most valuable currency in my life. Like I don't do the laundry anymore. I refuse to do the laundry. I bring it to the laundromat. I'm dropping it off. I just won't do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. That is a task that I have outsourced. Okay. What are other things that I do that, I mean, probably the bougiest thing I do that people might scoff at is I do IVs from time to time. And that is only because like I am somebody who has like a weaker immune system and I'm more susceptible to getting sick. And when you travel, when you take hundreds of flights and you meet thousands of people, I think it's a reasonable thing to get shot up with a bunch of vitamins once a week or once every other week, you know, to stay healthy. And so those are probably the things the thing is I don't drink. I don't really do. I mean, I have it. I literally have a drink on special occasions, but I barely smoke weed, barely do any drugs. Like literally it's like once in a blue moon, you know? And so I don't really indulge. I drive a Kia, you know? I asked my financial advisors, like, could I have gotten like a way nicer car? He was like, yeah, why didn't you? I was like, I don't know. I just, you know, I wear like a fake Rolex, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know if those things matter to me. Me and my friends, we were in Vegas and we went to Carbone, you know, and I wore like a hoodie and jeans and like dirty sneakers. And my friend dressed up. He's like, why didn't you like dress up for this? I'm like, bro, because like I am the party, bro. We have nothing to prove. I just sold thousands of tickets on the Las Vegas Strip. They like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. What, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these people who are dressed up, a lot of people are posturing, and all they have to offer is a big bank account. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to entertain people. So it's like you see Adam Sandler, he walks around with those big ass shorts and jerseys and shit. You don't got nothing to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you are speaking my fucking language right now because I am a bougie bitch, Morgan. Like, if you ever even got a glance at what my fucking closet looks like, you would be like, what the fuck, okay? Like, I am a bougie bitch. And let me tell
It's
you
all right.
something, I don't park my own car, okay? That's how fucking bougie I am. However, I am always fucking going to these, like, whatever, expensive places, whatever you want to call them, but I will always pull up in a fucking Walmart sweater. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know
Well,
what I
and
mean?
I do have this theory that in certain cities, if you the shittier you show up to like a fancy place, the more famous they think you are. Like with big sunglasses, I bet you could even show up like post pedicure, manicure with like you like can't touch anything, and they'd be like, "Oh, right this way, sir." You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain thing about it where, you know, I even went to a watch store and I told them about my fake Rolex, and they were like, you know, honestly, a lot of these rich people, they don't walk around with their like real stuff on them anyway because they just leave it in the safe, you know, because it's like it's just scary. And if you're in a room full of people who are wearing Cartier Rolexes, you know, the most expensive watches in the world, if you're in that room, like they're not going to question what you're wearing is real or not, you know, if that makes sense.
It makes so much sense. And you know what? I'm going to put that fucking theory to a test. I'm going to pull up to Austin and just pretend to be like the bougies. No one's going to fucking question me for anything. And guess what? When you see me sitting somewhere, I may be crisscross applesauce on the show, but as soon as I'm sitting on the show, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, it worked.
Yeah. I mean, literally, but you know, it's actually funny for all my fans out there or anybody who wants to go see a show. There are ways to sneak into shows that people have done before. I mean, people have snuck backstage in my show somehow. I don't know. Do you ever hear the story of the guy who he snuck back? What is Tommy Lee's band? Oh, why am I, Molly Crew? And this guy snuck back there saying it was a pizza delivery. Him and his boys delivered like 60 pizzas backstage, and they got backstage and like they were like, "Oh my fucking God, I can't believe we made it back here." And then like like the band hung out with them, they were like, you know what? If y'all made it this far, fucking let's have a slice of pizza together and let's hang. You know what I'm saying? Like at a certain, you got to respect the game as long as nobody's trying to hurt me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I definitely won't be trying to hurt you up, but you know what? You might see me at that show in April. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last question in regards to music I have for you, real quick, Morgan, is I know you probably get hit with this question a lot, and I usually don't do this, but I want it for my show because I'm truly curious. Has it ever crossed your mind if you were to set comedy completely aside? And the reason I'm asking this is also because of your mom, okay?
Yeah.
What would a song Morgan would put out that had no comedy touch to it? What would it be about?
Well, it's funny you say that because I do have legitimate music that I haven't necessarily released yet, and I worked with producers on and stuff like that, and eventually that's going to come out. But it's all R&B themed. It's all kind of, it's I don't know if my mom would like the music, but it's all like a mix of late old school R&B and modern kind of sounds. But I'm just trying to get people horned up and get them in the mood. I mean, there's only a few pleasures in this life that don't cost any money for some people, of course. So I want to bring people together and not divide them. So if you're in the room with your girl or your guy, or your partner, and trying to get in the mood, you want to pop one of these songs, on. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
You
yeah,
know,
that's
that-
exactly what I'm talking
Come on,
about.
man. Come on now. Come on now.
Amazing. Well, in honor of being a goofy guy, okay, we're going to
Yeah.
give this a quick little unshut twist, and this is going to be Goofy Guy meets Spooky Guy, and this is how we're going to close out the episode, okay? I am going to basically just wing and freestyle like something spooky and goofy that we're just going to rock with it. We're going to improv real quick, okay? And I have nothing prepared. So, but I feel like we have to talk about your upcoming shows, convince people to come see your shows. So that's what we're going to go with. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And I'm always so embarrassed to do these, but I do them because it's what people like to listen to. So
It's all
here we
good.
go. You guys, the scariest fucking thing just happened to me. Morgan J told me that if we didn't go to his show, this is what would happen. I'll play the video for you now.
Listen, if you don't come to my show, I'm gonna sneak into your house and I'm gonna steal all of your clothes and I'm gonna pretend to be you. I'm gonna live your life. I'm gonna host your podcast and I'm going to tank every avenue of your business. You understand? I'm gonna empty your bank accounts. I'm gonna talented Mr. Ripley you. You understand? So you better get tickets to my show. I'm gonna infiltrate your family. They're gonna love me more than you. That's what's going to happen. But I'm just a goofy guy. I'm just a goofy guy.
Dude, all right. Goofy guy with a little spooky twist. I love it.
No.
I love it.
I was gonna do like I'm gonna wear your skin, but then that would have been too much. I was thinking of Silence of the Lambs, That's crazy.
Hell yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your fucking time, dude. I've had a
Oh, thank
blast
you.
and this was so amazing. And for the record, I would love to see more Morgan J and the Jaws in the future for sure. And I'll play the clip for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. It'll play
Yeah.
next.
Hit me 2 times. Can I get a LOL or a ha 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 or an LMFAO or a Chinese man? Oh shit, we vibing. Oh shit, we vibing. Hit me 3 times. Can I get a LOL or a ha 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 or an LMFAO or a ja. Hit me forever, hit me forever. Can I get a LOL? Don't stop, keep doing it, don't freaking stop. Don't freaking stop. How long can we really do this for, though? Even longer than I was doing it before. I mean, just to speak to that, guys, for those of you, and I'll wrap up right now myself with my little plugs. It's like, again, if you enjoyed the podcast, by the way, I had a great time. The questions were fantastic. It was really refreshing. I obviously am Morgan J, morganj.com. Definitely check me out on all the platforms. Specifically, the thing I'm most excited
right now is about Twitch and the live streaming, and I've been doing my rehearsals with my live band, and we're getting ready for the next evolution of the Morgan J experience, and I couldn't be more excited and thrilled about it. So hopefully I'll see you at a show sometime soon.
Dude, hell yeah. You're gonna fucking kill it. I can't wait to see what is next for you. And I can't thank you enough for coming on to the show for sure.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, listen, good luck with everything. All right, I'll catch you
Amazing.
soon. Okay,
Peace
take care.
out.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.